Am I the asshole for not taking care of my sister's baby? I know the title sounds awful, but no other way to say it. Also, I'm writing this on mobile, so excuse errors. I, 18 female, have a sister 24 female who just gave birth to my nephew who's about 3 months old. To preface the situation, I do not know how to properly care for a baby, the formula ratios, how to change and clean them, nothing. I have no experience with children at all. To the story. My sister comes to my mom's house, where I live, to ask my mom to watch the baby for a while so she can go get some groceries. I tell her that my mom isn't home and won't be until late since she was part of a friend's wedding party. My sister then asks me to watch the baby, and I tell her that while I can keep a physical eye on the baby, I'm ill-equipped to actually take care of him. I ask my sister if he's been fed and changed, and she says yes, so I agree to watch the baby for an hour while she goes to the store. I reiterated before she left that I would not be feeding, changing, wiping or otherwise tending to the baby, only to watching him while he laid in his car seat. This way, my sister would be back before he needed anything. My sister was gone for 2 hours, and the baby started to get fussy, so I called her. She asked me to watch him for another 3 hours while she got her nails done, and I reminded her that I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing and I can't get him to stop crying. At this point the baby is screaming and I've tried everything I know how, even a sloppy attempt at a diaper change. So I tell my sister that I'd be calling the police for neglect, as she expected me to take care of a baby and I've barely even held kids in my life. My sister rushes to my mom's house and calls me an asshole for not taking care of the baby, says I'm lazy and if I was a decent aunt, I'd be trying to learn how to help. I kind of feel bad, because I know new moms don't get enough time to themselves and my sister's husband works a lot to support them both, but I genuinely don't know what I'm doing with a baby. Am I the asshole here? Edit. I see a lot of people saying the car seat isn't safe for sleeping, and I'm not sure, but it's one of those stroller thingies that turns into a car seat that turns into a sleeping thingy. It was fixed to be safe for sleep before I took the baby, according to my sister. Also, he wasn't left in there for hours, because after about 45 minutes he woke up and started to fuss, at which point I rocked him and he fell back asleep on me. At hour and 30-minute mark was when he started getting really upset, and I called my sister 15 minutes after because he wouldn't stop. Also, changing a diaper seemed simple enough, and I would have been successful if I had a normal diaper, but my sister has some crazy new tech cloth diaper with like 4 straps. I had never seen it before and thus would not know how to put it on. Yes, I know how to hold a baby and about the neck. Give me more credit, geez, tears of joy. Also, I did go on YouTube. Do you think I wanted the baby to be screaming in my ear? I actually did go online and try to look up how to do formula properly, but I didn't have anything to mix it with, and according to the internet the bubbles give them stomach issues when you shake the bottle, and you can't leave clumps, and if your water isn't filtered it's bad, and I don't have a water filter in my house. And then I saw all the warnings on the back of the formula can and I was like, you know what, idk, what the fuck I'm doing. I'm more than willing to learn, I have no issue with babies. My sister knows this. Update 2. My mom came home from the wedding and I told her what happened. She put me in the car and took me to my sister's house. My mom yelled at my sister, called her a terrible mother, told her if anything like this ever happened again she'd be calling the police and made her apologize. I also found out that my sister knew my mom wasn't available and her whole plan was to trick me into watching the baby. My sister's husband was furious at her, and also apologized to me. I spoke with my sister and mom and brother-in-law and we're getting my sister evaluated for PPD, because leaving your baby with an incapable teen is so irresponsible. She must be crazy, husband's words not mine. And I'll be actually learning how to help with the baby. Thanks for all the kind words. If you were a decent mom, you wouldn't leave your baby with someone who isn't capable of caring for them. Throw the shame back at her, where it belongs. Edit. Forgot judgment. Not the asshole. Thank you, Signata. Look at it this way. Your sister was more concerned with getting her nails done than caring for her child. You made it clear that you did not know how to care for a child. You. Not the asshole. Your sister. Major awe. Not the asshole. Your sister tried to take advantage of you by deceiving you on how long she would be and she put her baby at risk, just to get her nails done. You did the right thing by threatening to call the police. Edit. Thank you for the awards. I didn't know getting your nails done was a part of grocery shopping. Not the asshole. It's her fault for not getting a qualified babysitter. You legit told her that you were 100% incapable of caring for a child. It's not your fault that she chose to ignore that. Am I the asshole for touching my autistic roommate to get him to move out of a doorway? Edit. Hey, a lot of people have made comments about fatphobia and misogyny, and that I shouldn't allow people to treat me this way. I really can't control other people's thoughts or actions, only my own reaction. When I am walking to the bus and a carload of douches lean out the window and say, "Hey fat XXX," there is nothing I can do in that moment to stop them treating me that way. I can't stick duct tape over their mouths, I can't stop them laughing and driving away. Sure, I can flip them off and yell back, but in my experience this eggs them on more and gets the reaction they wanted. Much laughter, oh so funny. Some of them are filming me as they do this, so I'm not giving them any material for their dumb TikTok videos. To say that I am allowing something is implying that I actually have control over other people's actions or behaviors. I don't. When I am at work and someone says, "Hey girl, what's good to eat on the menu? I bet you've tried it all this morning. Lol, so funny," I can't say anything back without risking my job. You can say that it's a workers' market all you want. I ain't risking my job for a teachable moment that I can pretty much guarantee you won't work on a jackass who gets off insulting a big woman just trying to earn a living. I'm not internalizing any hatred, I don't think less of myself, and I don't judge myself by other people's standards. I accept what I cannot change, and I don't let it get me down. Accepting what I cannot change is not agreeing with it. I can't run out onto the streets and shout for the world to treat me better, it won't get me anywhere. If there was some way we could make others treat everyone decently, this world wouldn't be in the shape it's in, let alone the shape I'm in. Lol. And #X200B. And #X200B. And #X200B. I live with 3 other people, we all split the rent evenly on the 4-bedroom house. We live in a LCOL area, but pretty much of all of us are minimum wage earners, so we can't live by ourselves. My roommate, Trent, told us he was autistic when he moved in. We asked him if there was anything we should know about his condition to make sure he was okay, and he said pretty much not to engage with him unless he initiates it. He likes wearing his AirPods a lot, and when he is at home he is glued to his phone or his pad with his buds in. If we have to talk with him about anything, we normally have to wait until he gets off his tech, so we normally just leave a note on the kitchen bench. Once we interrupted when we were ordering Uber Eats, and he seemed okay once he realized it was about takeout. He pays the rent on time and cleans up after himself, so it's no big deal. We all do our own thing. Anyways, he was walking slowly towards the door one day and was glued to his phone and had his AirPods in and just stopped in the middle of the doorway. I was wanting to get by him because I needed to head to work and waited about 30 seconds with no sign he was moving. I put my hand on his forearm and said, "Hey, sorry, I need to get by." He turned around and looked at me and just blew up and went on like a minute about how dare I touch him. A lot of comments about me being overweight and that's why I couldn't get past him, and how I made him dirty by touching him. I just blinked and said, "Look, just get out of the doorway, I have to go to work." Anyway, I was really surprised about how angry he was, but a lot of his comments seemed to be about my being a big woman and someone like me shouldn't be touching someone like him. He moved and I got by and just got on with my day. So it seems he complained to my other roomies about it. One is saying, "Athi asshole, I should have just waved my hand in front of the phone so he knew I was there. It didn't occur for me to do this, to be honest. But I don't think I am an asshole for not thinking of this." The other is saying Trent is being a bit precious about it all, and probably wouldn't have been so snotty about it if I had been a VS model. Lol. It's no big deal for me emotionally, it's going to blow over, but am I the asshole for touching him to get him to move? Not the asshole. And being autistic is not a license to be a complete aw. If anything, he owes you an apology. Not the asshole, but Trent is. Autism isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card for being a total asshole. I wouldn't feel comfortable living with someone who blew up at me, and called me a fat cow. I don't know how bothered you are about it, but I'd either be looking to replace him next time you sign the lease, or move out. I am autistic and don't like to be touched. But he was blocking the way. If I was blocking the way for someone to pass, I would rather feel sorry for the inconvenience I caused. PPL shall respect boundaries, and you shouldn't touch him out of nowhere, but he doesn't get pass when he is blocking the way. He has to learn not to do it, autism or not. My autistic sister read this and she says he's a massive fucking asshole. Sue, there's your answer, not the asshole. Am I the asshole for buying my wife a watch in a color she doesn't like? I feel kind of stupid for asking this, but I can't reconcile what went wrong in my head. Basically, I've been away with work for a few weeks. We both have Apple Watches which after a few years have shorter battery life, so we were due a replacement. I shopped around for a little while, even thinking to change from Apple Watch to some other smartwatch. Anyway, I caved and decided to replace the watches through our phone provider, who only had a limited range of colors and sizes. I got mine, which was the same size and color, but my wife's the only one I thought she'd like was silver and white. So I get parcel tracking and thought it would be a nice surprise for her to open when I knew it arrived. Being that I'm away with work, it was going to be a remote surprise. And I asked if she would open the parcel that came for me that day. Initially she was happy that I'd surprised her that way until she opened the box and said words to the effect of, why did you get me a silver watch? You know I don't wear silver. Person facepalming male sign, person facepalming male sign, person facepalming male sign. This has since been turned into an accusation that I deliberately decided to hurt her by buying a watch in a color she knows she won't wear. I acknowledge that she prefers gold jewelry. But I wasn't thinking of colors, more the practical requirement that the smartwatch would be for her. I can also acknowledge that yes, I should have been more thoughtful, but I was limited in the range that was available. Now I have a $600 watch that won't be worn and an angry wife. I suppose the hardest part one can't reconcile is that I can't think of what type of person would try to gift or surprise their beloved with the intention of hurting them. Am I the asshole? I hate silver. I have expressed this endlessly in my nearly 40-year relationship. My skin has yellow undertones and silver looks awful. I have received silver jewelry more than once. After the first, second and third reminder I gave up. I see these pieces as a sign of the state of our marriage. One more thing to really push home the fact that he honestly just doesn't give a crap, but a real fool if I have the audacity to complain. Cue misunderstood face and gaslighting about my lack of gratitude. I don't wear silver, but I own earrings and a necklace from anniversaries past. They gather dust and sometimes he wonders why I don't wear my jewelry. Only you know if you are the a-hole. Am I the asshole for telling my dad I'll never forgive him if he takes my grandparents to court? So I, F16, have a mom who got diagnosed with ovarian cancer and it ended up spreading throughout her body. She put up a good fight for a while. About a month ago her doctors decided it would be best for her to be on home hospice. My mom agreed. Before she got put in hospice she was at the hospital for a while trying different treatments for her cancer. My grandparents, her parents, ended up getting temporary custody since she couldn't take care of me. Since I was 5 and my parents got divorced, I spend every weekend with my dad. I enjoy the weekends at my dad's. 5 years ago he married my stepmom and I got 2 stepsisters. Well, my dad's house isn't that big, so my stepsisters share a room and whenever I stay I sleep on the couch in the living room. So it isn't an ideal place to stay all the time. Well, since my mom got put on hospice I've wanted to spend as much time with her as possible. So my grandparents didn't force me to go to my dad's, they understand that I want to spend time with my mom. Well, it's upset my dad that I don't want to visit him even though I explained that I just want to spend more time with my mom. Today my dad and stepmom showed up at my grandparents' house saying he's my dad and it isn't right they don't encourage me to see him a couple times out of the week. My grandparents said I can make my own decisions and that I have every right to rather be with my mom right now they stay at his house. My dad talk about how it is part of the court agreement and how if he has to he'll take my grandparents to court. I stepped in and said if you make us deal with family court while my mom is on hospice and we're just trying to spend as much time together as possible I'll never forgive you. My stepmom put her 2 cents in calling me a brat for trying to guilt trip him into letting me not go see him. She tried saying she understands. I want to spend time with my mom but that doesn't mean I can just stop seeing my dad. So am I the asshole? Also in my mom's will she stated she wants me to live with my grandparents full time but continue to see my dad on weekends if I would like to. Not the asshole. His wife called you names and he allowed it. Not the asshole. Your stepmom doesn't understand you wanting to spend your limited time with your mother, or else she wouldn't be trying to take it away. They have a right to want to stick to a court-ordered contract. But this is clearly a temporary extenuating circumstance, and I don't think it's unreasonable to be upset with them for not being willing to make an exception for your sake. Also, IANAL. But the fact that there's not even a good space for you to sleep when you're there because of your step-siblings. Part of me wonders if taking your grandparents to court would blow up in their face. Not the asshole. You are old enough to decide and the court will agree. You're also not wrong to want to spend as much time with your mom as you can. Hospice is usually end-of-life care. I'm just sorry you're even in this position.